Hello everyone and thank you for tuning in to Black Spectrum Network. I'm going to be your reader for today, contemporaries Shakir. Please go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com to purchase a private psychic reading. Also, please like this video, please share this video, please comment on this video. As soon as I reach 1,000 subscribers and I make YouTube partner, then guess what? You all will then start getting readings on the Black community. Also, be on the lookout for my Patreon account. It is going to be very cheap, okay? So you're going to get exclusive content for very, very cheap rates. Now, we're going to be doing a reading on Rihanna, okay? So I'm going to shuffle my personality cards 9 times to get a good outlook on who Rihanna is personality-wise. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Rihanna and who she is. This is who Rihanna is behind the scenes. Okay, Rihanna is a humanitarian. She's a philanthropist. She cares a lot about remedying the effects of social inequality. She cares a lot about poor people and providing food to poor people, specifically food and clothing to poor people. They're saying that she's a humanitarian because she wants to give to those poor people so that they can have sustenance on their way towards finding their own financial freedom. So Rihanna isn't the person that gives the opportunities. She's the person that throws you the water bottle when you're on the racetrack towards the finish line, okay? They're also saying that Rihanna is very humble when she gives. So she gives specifically for the purpose of improving society. She doesn't give for tax write-offs. She doesn't give to impress other people. She doesn't give for name recognition. She gives specifically from her heart for the purpose of creating a certain type of world. They're also saying that Rihanna is codependent. Rihanna can hide behind people that are not as popular or as talented as she is, because sometimes they're saying that she's shy, as naturally shy, and she has a tendency to work. It's like this. Rihanna is best as a solo artist, and I'm glad that she's a solo artist. But she would be very open to. She would have been very open to have been in a girl group, and she would not have wanted the spotlight to be on her. That's actually her preference, is not to be in the spotlight. Now, she does want tremendous success for herself and her solo music career, but she as a person would try to hide behind someone that is less talented or has less charisma, and she feels like that would bring about balance. Like, you don't have as much, let me give something to you, put you in the spotlight because I will naturally shine. They're also saying that she has a tendency to attract people that want a lot from her. These are emotionally needy people, and they seek to be in Rihanna's presence so that they can feel validated. Rihanna is extremely feminine, tapped into a divine feminine energy. She comes off with a very queenly presence, very queenly authority. Also, at the same time, Rihanna can be she tries to remain humble, but when she's angered, she steps into that queenly attitude. So she will play with you like a peasant. But if you play with her and you cross her, she will get on her throne and remind you kind of like, I'm Rihanna, I'm a queen. How dare you do that? But that's not naturally who she is. But you can't knock her from her throne. She will come down from her throne on her own accord. They're speaking about her as being a visionary. And this is a visionary not just in terms of her music, but this is also a visionary in terms of how she sees the world, how she understands human life. Rihanna's very spiritual. And she cares very deeply about women and women's issues, especially poor women's issues. And she wants to live in a society where poor women are able to, because she sees them as the underdog, she wants them to be able to be at the forefront of every movement, for them to be at the forefront of our minds, for them to be at the forefront of the services that we render. They need to be the first in line. And it's because of that particular vision, she's able to sell those insights to the masses, and people like her for that. And that's why she's able to create pop music, and people see beyond the music and they like Rihanna the person. And that's because of the things that she does behind the scenes that we don't see. Those things have built her character in an authentic way, so that when she promotes these visionary projects, people can feel that energy that humanitarian spirit, that giving spirit, that very genuine and loving. That's what I hear. Very loving energy that she produces in her music, even if it's about ratchet shit. They're describing Rihanna as someone that has she's entrepreneurial. She has the ability to be to make a business from anything that she creates creatively. Very naturally, she's a healer, and her healing comes through her words. Rihanna, just off the dome with the things that she thinks, they're really like what Spirit is saying is like people think that she's really cool. Like, Rihanna's someone that you get high with, and she just all of a sudden just says something to you, and you're like, oh wow, like that's deep. It's something as simple as it can be something as simple as she tweeted one time. I think it was something about men underestimating you, like never allow. I can't remember the quote, but I'll look it up before I get off of here, if I can remember, because it was a really good quote. But either way, Rihanna is someone who heals with her words, but also she very much can forget about herself. Like she can get sick from healing so many people. She needs to make sure at all times that she has an older person who can help her to heal people in moderation, because she's naturally giving in terms of her finances, her emotions, her ideas. She puts her soul into all three of those areas. They're calling her a pioneer, and we know obviously why she pioneers things. Rihanna's a pioneer not just in terms of fashion, but she's a pioneer in terms of the images that she promotes of herself, and she has opened the doors for Black women's sexuality to be treated in a wholesome way. Not to say that Black women are treated in a wholesome way, but she's opened the doors for those conversations to be had about Black women being treated in a wholesome way. Rihanna is a seeker of knowledge and ancient wisdom. So she's not committed to any particular religious path. So no, I don't think the Rihanna practices any specific organized religion, or even like something like voodoo and unorganized religion. But I do see that she seeks wisdom. She listens to sermons. She meditates. She talks to monks. I wouldn't be surprised if I really wouldn't be surprised if Rihanna had a spiritual mentor who is a student of all religions, or a student of life. Rihanna is very mischievous, so you can think of her as the type of girl that she will toilet paper your house on a Halloween night just because. Rihanna gets drunk. She gets high, and then she just does fun stuff. Like a little kid. Extremely playful. She'll randomly jump on your back when she feels like it. She just does what she wants to do, and she doesn't like stuffiness. She doesn't like to do routine things. Like she's all about being unpredictable, especially when she's hanging out with her friends. And with people that she knows, she's not even reserved with them. That's her way of breaking them in. It's like a sort of hazing. Like, I'm going to do random things that I find fun. If I can predict the outcome of something, then that's not how things should go. And I'm gonna just do something that's going to be, kind of like a plot twist towards life to spice things up. And finally, there's describing Rihanna as someone that's always throwing out the life raft to people, always trying to save them, always trying to help them, always trying to be supportive of other people through a crisis, always loving them without expecting them to give back to her in return. But at the same time, Rihanna can keep needy women around her. Okay? Very needy women, emotionally needy women, women that are hopeless romantics, women that are not women that are not equipped to be entrepreneurs, but they try to be entrepreneurs. Just women that are needy, always needing financial advice, relationship advice, some money here, some money there, and she's a very loyal person. So with her friendships, she's like, if you're my friend, you're good to me. I'm gonna make sure that you're taken care of. Okay, so now we're going to get into some of the questions that have been asked about Rihanna, and I'm going to shuffle these cards. Like I said, I'm trying to find new ways to shuffle my cards so that I don't bend them up. And these are some really pretty cards. I purchased them at this bookstore, Phoenix and Dragon, about 2 to 3 days ago. And I looked at the demo deck, and I was like, wow, these are pretty. And then one time for that. Okay. So, we know what Rihanna's like behind the scenes. And we know, I know who Rihanna is. I don't follow her public. I don't follow Rihanna the person. Like, I don't follow her Instagram account. I don't know that Rihanna. I know Rihanna the musician. Now, someone wanted to ask the question, is Rihanna the same person that she portrays behind the scenes? Is that what we see in public? To an extent, yes. To an extent, no. What you get is you see the core of who Rihanna is. Like Rihanna the artist, you see the core of Rihanna Fenty the person, just the core. You don't see the flower petals. You don't see you don't really see the insecurities. You don't see the philanthropy. You feel the love. You feel Rihanna. You don't see Rihanna, okay? You feel Rihanna, all right? So, what was Rihanna's childhood like? That's what we want to get into. What was Rihanna's childhood like? And then from there, from her childhood, I want people want to know, is she bisexual? Okay. So Rihanna's childhood. Rihanna grew up poor, obviously, wanting money. And her family is one, like, just her immediate family, they wanted, it was always money or food. Like, money or food. There was never enough money, never enough food, and never enough money to buy enough food. And her mom tried to be as frugal as she could, given given the circumstances. I think Rihanna has brothers and sisters as well that needed to be fed, or maybe some cousins that lived in the household. But I definitely am hearing that money and food was scarce, and a lot of that burden of providing for the family was placed on her mom's back. I'm not seeing a father around, but now I am seeing the father, and I'm seeing the father living in the same vicinity or city that she lived in or something. But this father not being present, him kind of going about doing his own thing. I'm seeing the father on his own spiritual journey, and this meaning that he's overly, and this is not a good spiritual journey. I'm hearing it as her father was extremely stubborn and committed to his own sole purpose. Like he knew that he had fatherly responsibilities to attend to, but he was just stubborn and committed to his own wants and desires. I'm seeing that Rihanna was a hustler. Rihanna worked. She bartered a lot for money. So I'm seeing it as Rihanna, like in high school, like Rihanna would do favors for people, for extra cash, and then she'd bring the cash home. And I'm saying it's just like small work, not afraid to get her hands dirty, not afraid to wash a car here or there, not afraid to work in the field. But yeah, I am seeing it as Rihanna was a go-getter, a hustler. And it's kind of like, it's just kind of like Rihanna did what she could to help her mom make financial ends meet. And she was also very bitter towards her dad not being there. Kind of like, well, if he's not going to do it, then I've got to do it. I've got to be, like, she stepped up and she became the man of the household. Rihanna pursued her music career specifically for the purpose of remedying poverty, fixing poverty. That's what she really cares about, impoverished people. And I'm saying that she saw, from where she was from, she just saw people who were born into money and always had money. And she kind of felt like those people should give something. Not like they should just give it to me, but those people should give something to society. And I'm not saying that, and she's like, I'm not saying everybody deserves a handout, but you have so much. You have so much money. You have so much of this, so much food, and you're never hungry, and you could just give a little bit. And I'm seeing her feeling like those people that hoarded money contributed to an incomplete society. Does that make sense? Again, money. And Rihanna, it's really all about money up until this point. What Spirit is telling me is that Rihanna's mom was in relationships with guys that sometimes wouldn't contribute money to the household. And they were just there. Like, it's like some guys did, some guys didn't. And some guys ate more than, they ate more than their share of food. And that contributed to there not being enough sometimes. And I'm hearing it as her mom justified it as a man has to be big and strong. He has to eat. Money again. And the lack of having a father present, the financial burdens being put on her mom's back, the men that were entering into the household that were harvesting money for themselves and not putting back into this family, her seeing people in society harvesting too much money and not sowing their money back into the community, her getting tired of working all these jobs, led her to taking action and pursuing this music career. Because I'm seeing it as she just said fuck it one day and she just stepped out on faith. Okay, she took the clothes off her back, the money that she had, her talent, and she winged it. She winged it. Like, Rihanna seriously stepped out on faith, and she took the opportunity and parlayed that into the next level. She was hungry for it, okay? She works. She worked hard for where she is. That's the ultimate ending of this story, I think. And yeah, because emotional completion, mental clarity. She was then able to take care of her family. So at a very young age, the success happened for her very rapidly. But it felt for her, for how long that she had been broke, how long that she had kind of been slaving away to help her family, it felt like forever. But that moment was like, I did it, this is it, and I'm not going to forget where I came from, and I'm always going to give back. That's how she grew up. That's what Spirit is telling me from this part of the narrative. Okay, is Rihanna bisexual? Yeah. She's sexually bisexual. Romantically, no. Romantically, she doesn't really do romantic relationships with women. She's tried, and she has had emotional situations with them, but not to the degree of falling in love. It slopes. It's like, okay, we're there, we're getting higher up, and it just falls. It's like, kind of sort of got there with her, and then it just fell to the wayside. But she does have sexual relationships with women. And she is very guarded when it comes to dealing with women. The reason being that, and Rihanna would say it like this: I know that this is gender prejudice, but women require way too much attention. They're way too needy, and they ask me for too much, and I'm gonna give, like, women are giving ass bitches, and I'm a giving ass bitch, and I've got to give to a man. That's how I hear it. She's like, I'm a giving ass bitch, and I gotta be with a taking ass nigga. Okay, and that's how it's just the way that gender roles are set up. What fits for her is being with a man. But she is sexually into women. But I'm not saying it as she's an active pursuer of women. Much rather, she enjoys being touched on, groped on, eroticized, looked at, fantasized about by women. Okay, so I want to know. I'm going to draw one card for each of these people that I'm about to ask about. But different people wanted to know how Rihanna felt about XYZ celebrity. Okay, so the first celebrity is Drake. How does she feel about Drake? Rihanna thinks that Drake is emotionally deep. She thinks that Drake is in the dark. She feels that this is how she feels. She feels Drake is an emotionally deep person. She feels that Drake is ocean deep. To the point, and ocean deep meaning that you can drown yourself in Drake's feelings, okay? That's how deep they run, but they will suffocate you, and they are dark. Like the ocean depths are dark. And Drake is in tune with the fact that he's deep, but he's not in tune with those dark feelings because he can't navigate through them. It's like what the things that are on his mind are the things that are on his mind are not evil. They are just it's a lot. He has a lot of vice thoughts, sexual thoughts, deeply romantic thoughts, very, very passionate. And I see it as Rihanna doesn't like to get deep with him. She admires his depth. But Rihanna's a deep thinker. And her heart is big. She has a big heart. Do her feelings run deep? Yes. Not to the degree that Drake's do, to where it's like at Ocean's level, you can't go past a certain point or else you're gonna die. There's no way that the pressure of the depths of those waters is gonna crush your body. And that's how she feels about him. And I see it as she's always walking away from some of his conversations like, not like that's a food for thought thing, but that's way too deep for me. And I don't really play around with it, and I'm not going to let my mind go there. But that was an entertaining conversation that we had. All right. Ciara. She feels like Ciara is a fool. She feels like Ciara is she feels like Ciara is developmentally challenged. She feels like Ciara is a grown woman with the spirit of a child, and that she's living in a fairy tale world, and she doesn't really keep it real with herself, and she doesn't keep people around her that keep it real with her. And she feels that Ciara is averse to the truth. She feels that Ciara is overly sensitive. She feels that Ciara is kind of fragile, and that Ciara lives in a... She feels that Ciara is really good with constructing an illusion of what her life should look like, but Rihanna feels like people can see through it. She feels that Ciara is lazy, and that Ciara doesn't take enough action with her music, and she feels like Ciara cares more about promoting an image of a housewife than she does promoting herself, and Rihanna just doesn't understand like why someone would choose the lesser of those two goods. That's how she sees it. Karrueche. She thinks that Karrueche will always... She feels like Karrueche is always going to be in a third-party situation. Like, she's forever going to be trapped in as, like, either Karrueche's going to be the side bitch or Karrueche's going to have a side nigga. That's how she thinks of it. Like, she feels that Karrueche's never going to be in a two-party relationship without some third person interfering or her interfering with some situation. She feels like Karrueche is a little naive. But she thinks that Karrueche is an enterprising woman, and she thinks that Karrueche, and this is how I hear it, she thinks that Karrueche has done her best to not be Jhené Aiko. Like, and this is what she's like, and this is like shade. It's like they have a similar look, and she's done her best to not be Jhené Aiko. If that makes any sense. Like, she's like, Karrueche could be mistaken for her, but she definitely, like, people know Karrueche has an identity. And I'm proud that she has an identity. That's how she's saying it. Teyana Taylor. She feels like Teyana Taylor is very masculine and that Teyana Taylor is broke. She's like, Teyana Taylor, I just feel like her brand is off. She promotes the wrong thing. The image doesn't make any sense. And she just feels like Teyana is kind of everywhere with like her business, her branding. She's like, it just doesn't. She's like, it makes sense. Like, Rihanna feels like Teyana Taylor is like an entry level businesswoman. She's like, She's like, Teyana Taylor is a businesswoman, but she's entry level. She's not the CEO. She pretends like she's a mid-tier professional, but she's really still at the entry level. And she's going to always be at the entry level. That's how she feels. But she thinks that Teyana Taylor can make some money. She's like, I'm glad she can, find opportunities here and there, but she definitely doesn't see her as a threat. She just sees her as just a tomboy that still needs artistic development. Beyonce. She feels like Beyonce carries the industry on her back. She feels like Beyonce's ideas pioneer a movement. She feels like Beyonce's images, artistry, and sound, she is the standard. And Beyonce carries that on her back. And she hates that Beyonce is overburdened with that because the powers that be in the industry put that burden on Beyonce's back unfairly to a degree. And Rihanna's inspired by Beyonce's success. Not inspired by Beyonce, but she's inspired by Beyonce's success. And Rihanna wants to learn from Beyonce to avoid being the authority on what a future sound will be. Beyonce is a trendsetter. Rihanna is too, but Rihanna's trying to avoid being overly burdened by being the authority on where music is headed. Okay, and Jay-Z. She thinks that Jay-Z is just way too private. And she thinks that Jay-Z could be much more like... She wants Jay-Z to come out of his shell more. And she wants Jay-Z to stop feeling like he either has to show the public who he is, or he has to promote his music. It's like, Rihanna's like, why don't you just be who you are and allow for who you are to promote your music? I feel like you're a great person and people would like it. It's not gonna like hurt your brand or anything. Like, let them know more about like who you actually are. Like, and so she even feels like Jay-Z has been vulnerable, but she's like, it's a strategic vulnerable. She's like, I would like to see more rawness from it. I would like to see it less planned out about what you want to reveal about yourself. That's how she feels. Okay? All right, so shuffle again. I'm so bad at shuffling. I gotta find a new way to shuffle. Send me good shuffling videos so I can preserve the integrity of these cards. The structural integrity of these cards. Okay, so I want to know, will Rihanna ever get married? I also want to know, will Rihanna ever have children? And Rihanna and her vocal ability. Like, what does Rihanna think about her vocal ability? Now, will Rihanna ever get married? Rihanna will be married when she becomes a billionaire. Okay? As simple as that. Rihanna will get married once she becomes a billionaire. Once she achieves billionaire status, Rihanna is then going to start embarking on a journey towards finding a true love relationship. She's on guard right now with relationships, love, and romance because she feels like it's going to derail her from achieving this financial goal she set for herself. And but I definitely do see her going after a man that is also financially well off as well. But I see it as she wants to make sure that she has a complete business infrastructure set in place so that the guy that she does deal with, they can she wants a guy that has his own business and is interested in philanthropy as well. And I'm hearing that she wants to make private donations she wants to make private donations on a macro level scale. And once she is able to do that, then she will want to get married. Now, will she have children? Rihanna will have children again once she reaches this billionaire status. Okay, and she feels like if she has children, and this is the thing, she doesn't want to get married because she doesn't want anybody fucking with her money. Okay, so even if she signs a prenup, she doesn't want to be in the media for her marriage, and then this guy starts, and yes, a guy starts acting out, and that could affect her sponsorships and diminish the potential returns that she receives on her investments, or it could limit the amount of money that she could potentially earn from her losing her fan base just simply by being associated with the wrong person that she's married, by being married to the wrong person. So Rihanna will have children because it's the fool card, and this is letting me know she feels that it's a foolish decision, something that's great, but it needs more. Her having a child, she wants to do it, but it needs, like, she's like, my life needs more refining. Once I'm financially secure, I'll find a guy, we'll start the relationship, and then we'll have the children. And then finally, how does she feel about her vocal ability? Rihanna feels like that she's like, look, it's going to make me money. It makes me money, and my vocals are the reason. Like, she feels her vocal abilities have been the reason that she's made her money. Now, she thinks that she thinks that she knows that she has manipulated the masses into just buying into her as a musician. She's like, look, at the end of the day, my voice is an instrument. And my voice as an instrument goes well with the percussion, the bass. I don't know anything about instruments, but it goes well with the track. Okay, it lays on the track beautifully. And for that, I'm able to harness all the money, acquire all the money, collect all the money because of my voice. And she's like, I've manipulated my voice. I've had people to manipulate my voice. Yes, I have, just so that I can get over the threshold. Okay, Rihanna's like, look, my voice could keep me out of the room, but guess what? I'm in the room. The fact that we're even having a conversation about my vocal ability lets me know that I'm in the room and I'm going to stay in the room. And my voice will keep me in the room. So conversations around her vocal ability help her to stay in the room. She's like, look, if you're talking about me, it's coming out your mouth, I'm relevant. And very much finally, she's like, she feels that her vocal ability, and I know this is all a positive outlook on her vocals, but this is how she looks at it. She doesn't focus on the negatives. It's not a can I sing, it's can my voice make me money? Yes, it makes me money. And she's like, I'm on my throne. And all of you all are my sons. All of you all are my children. You all are a slave to my voice. Because she's strategically manipulated her voice to appeal sonically to people's ears. And she's mastered that. It's like I've crossed a certain threshold to where my voice is bearable, and that's enough to get me in the door, and I know how to stay in the room. And she feels that it's her voice that has helped her to amass all of the success, and that's largely true. Okay, last shuffles, and then we're done with this video. Okay. Someone asked me about a reggae album. Is Rihanna coming out with a reggae album? But I'm going to do a reading on that. And I'm also going to look at the future of Fenty Cosmetics. Like, what's the future of Fenty's Cosmetics? I think that's what it's called. Reggae album. Do I see a reggae album? I see reggae influence, and I see Caribbean collaborations, but I don't see a reggae album. I see reggae influence. I see reggae collaborations with Caribbean artists that have influenced reggae. But I don't see a purely reggae album. I don't see her moving forward with it. I see it being a blend. But I do hear heavy influence, but I don't see that being the album. I do see it being more. I do see it being more Afro-Caribbean inspired than the rest of her music, but I don't think that that's what you're gonna get. Now the lead single may be a reggae-based single, but I don't see that as how people would describe the album at its core. I'm still hearing it being like R&B pop with a reggae, still like a reggae infusion, not influence it, a reggae infusion. Rihanna's gonna make tons and tons. I mean, Rihanna's gonna just make. I mean, the future of Fenty Cosmetics. I mean, more money. I mean, that's just it. More money. She's gonna dominate. The next 2 years, especially, you're gonna see Fenty Cosmetics. I think that she's going to start. You're gonna see Fenty Cosmetics commercials on like the OWN network. You're gonna see Fenty Cosmetics like sponsoring Black Girls Rock. You're gonna see Fenty Cosmetics like. She's trying to make Fenty Cosmetics the standard for makeup, the standard industry makeup that people want to use, and she's going to do that by leveraging business deals. So yeah, that's what I see it being. So you all will see more of Fenty Cosmetics. It will be a normalized makeup product. And here's the other thing that I'm hearing but I don't see in the cards. She's going to start promoting for men to start using makeup. Okay. All right. And before I go, I'm going to do Rihanna a favor. I'm going to tell Rihanna what's coming for her in her career. Rihanna, what's coming for Rihanna and her career. If she ends up watching this video, this is what I want to tell you. I see a new relationship with a man. She's going to be in a relationship with a man. I don't see it leading towards marriage. I do see that there are going to be rumors swirling about this. I do see it being kind of sort of public. This guy is charging forward. He wants her. But whoever this guy is, I don't see you all getting married to each other. And I see it as she's still prioritizing her career. Now, this man could be a good candidate for marriage, but not right now. For this guy, if you're dating Rihanna, Rihanna's not going to come easy. Even falling in love, I don't see her falling in love with this guy. I see her dealing with it. I see her engaging with it. Possibly going public with it, but I don't see her wanting to be consumed by love right now. But yeah, I see that this relationship playing a part in either the promotion of her album or just keeping a little bit of gossip going here and there just to keep people interested in the music. All right. So with that being said, please go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading. I know that I was off schedule with my 12 o'clock post, but I ended up releasing my Lil' Kim reading early for you all, and I should have released it on Friday, today. But with that being said, we are back on schedule. So yeah, please be on the lookout for new videos every Tuesday and Friday at 12 o'clock. And thank you for tuning into Black Spectrum Network. Please like, share, subscribe to this video. Go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading and leave me a message in the comments. Bye.
I just wanna fly away. First class out of space.